If you're a new creator or someone who's building a brand, you'll find this episode very, very useful. Because in this vlog, I will essentially be talking about why it's important to create content, but more importantly, why you should create authentic content and how you can do it. Okay. All right, people, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, you're very welcome. But then today I've got an exciting one. I'm literally just wrapping up work, but I think I see the weather is still good out there. So I'm probably going to take a walk out, but I've got something I want to share with you guys in here, and I'm going to unpack it in a minute. So let's take a walk. Let's go to the park, shall we? You know, the cool thing about having a place like this is that you can literally just walk out and you have a beautiful expanse to take a walk and to just see nature. It's such a blessing. I don't take it for granted at all. So I'm at the park and beautiful weather. The sun was out a few minutes ago, but now it's all gone down. But I mean, like I said, when I was walking down, it's such a beautiful thing to get into nature, especially if you work from home. It's crazy because sometimes you just find that you've been locked up in a room for 8 hours of your day, just, going hard. So stepping out into nature is always a good thing. But anyways, back to why we came. I got this in the post, I think it was actually a few days ago. I just didn't bother opening it because I wanted to do that with you guys on the channel because I've been waiting to get my hands on it for some time. And there it is, guys. 100 million money models by Alex Hormozi. I find this absolutely amazing because if you don't know who Alex is, a couple of years ago, Alex had come onto, the creator scene, literally from nowhere. And you started to see content about him, and you saw this guy who was all buff and had his nose tagged and would come out with, singlets and stuff, and you're like, who is this guru? Very unconventional, very unusual. But that was what made Alex actually very special, because unlike most other gurus of his time, Alex was doing it in a very unique way. I've got a friend here. Got a dog coming through. But anyways, Alex was doing this in a very different way. Where most other gurus were trying to impress you with their, cars or their suits and ties, Alex was just chill. He was just a guy who was showing up in his authentic self. And now he's built such a massive empire. His business empire is now worth several $100 million. And that is just a testament to the power of content creation, and not just content creation, but showing up as your authentic self. Because I think that's what stood him out. There's so many business gurus out there, but everyone listens to each person for something unique about them. And I think that was just the message that struck me again, when he launched this book and he broke the Guinness World Record. It was just that reminder that the world will listen to you for who you are. Because there's probably nothing new that you could say. There's probably nothing new I can say. There's probably nothing, that y'all don't know that I could come here and talk to you about. But then many of you would stay because of me, because of who I am. For whatever reason, you connect with me. And that's just what it is. And so if there's one charge for you guys right now, is to remember that as I charge you to create content, the most important part of that equation is that let that content be true to you. Let it be authentic content about who you are and what you do. And if you do that, your tribe will find you. Okay, so I know we've not got to talk about the new look, and I know many of you have probably been admiring this beautiful new look I've got, but I asked you guys last week if you'd be the judge. So tell me, which do you prefer, my former look with my hair or this very fresh low-cut version of myself? I personally am starting to fall in love with this because I think I've not seen myself this way in quite a while, so I'm definitely loving it. So, but you tell me in the comments, which do you prefer? It is Sunday and we're off to church to go fellowship with other believers, and I don't know what you do with your Sundays, but that is a Sunday essential for me. That's what gets me ready for the week. And as people who are building businesses, you better have something that you anchor to. For me, I anchor on my faith. My faith is where I draw everything, in terms of inspiration and just motivation and a sense of direction for each week. So yes, we will do that. And when I'm back, I'll be sharing with you 5 ways to stay authentic as a creator. because that's where we started off this week, and that's where we want to kind of wrap it up as well. 5 things that will, help you stay grounded and authentic. And as we said earlier, if you are an authentic person when you create, you will attract your right audience. And that's what you want at the end of the day. You cannot monetize an audience you do not cultivate. But if you are to cultivate an audience, you definitely have to do it from a place of authenticity. And that's what I'll be sharing with you later in the day. So yeah, hang around and I'll see you in a bit.
From the east to the west, with the heart of gratefulness, lift up your voice and sing, lift up a shout of praise. Shout of praise.
Okay, so we are home after a really long day, because after church service, my son was invited to a birthday party, and it took all day. So literally just getting back in. So as promised, I'm going to share with you 5 things that I think if you do will make you stand out and be truly authentic in a world that is full of fakes and phony people everywhere. And we'll jump right into the first one, which is own your story. Nobody else is you. Nobody else can be you. And if we just look at how we were made and designed as individuals by God, your fingerprints are all unique. Your retina is unique. Everything about your makeup as a person is very unique to you. And all that says is to stand out in a crowded world, you don't need to do much. All you need to do is be you. So I charge you, own your story, where you come from, what makes you special, the experiences you've been through. It is so unique to you. Nobody else has the exact same story, and that's what people will gravitate towards. So own your story and make that the focal point of everything you do. Number 2, wait, I never say 2 like that. It's more like number 2. Number 2, speak how you speak. Don't try to copy an accent. Don't try to speak like somebody else out there. I get asked a lot of times, where do I get my, pseudo-American accent from? It's just what it is. I grew up watching a lot of American TV. I had a father who was a journalist, and he, I just kind of picked it up. It was just how I grew up and how I learned to speak. And that became my natural, flow. So, and this is not different from when I'm on camera or when I'm speaking to you in person. This is how I speak. And I want you to ensure as well that, unless of course you're an artist where you have like a stage character, like a Medea, unless that in such circumstances, and even in that case, then you're being true to Medea, which is your stage character. Otherwise, then be you every single time. Just be authentic. Speak how you speak. You see too many people who try to fake an accent, and that makes it sound really bad and awkward. So be yourself. I'm a Nigerian who happens to have a pseudo-American accent and has lived in the Middle East and now is living in the UK. So there's a mishmash of quite a bit of accents that I've picked up. And because of my journalistic tendency, I enunciate words a lot because I want them to be very clear. But that is just me. Nobody else has to speak like me. And that's what makes me, who I am. And that's why some people listen to me, because they love the clarity or they love the way I sound. And some wouldn't like me for it. And it's okay. Just be you, own your voice. Speak as you speak. Don't try to speak like anybody else, because the moment you do that, that is you being less authentic, and that doesn't serve you any good. The third and very important way to stay authentic is to show the messy parts. Don't try to project an air of perfection. Nobody's interested in a perfect life. Everybody at this point wants to see your life as it is, the authentic life. Whether you make a mess, show it to us. Whether you had a victory or success, show it to us. If every time you're always winning, then trust me, nobody is going to be able to relate with that, because that is not the reality of most people. Most people have good days, they have bad days, they have high seasons, they have low seasons. And if you're able to come to me and project that reality, then of course I know who you are. So when I was talking about having a surgery and having, no hair at the back of of my head and getting my hair cut because of that. This is me being vulnerable. There are parts of my life I've never showed before that I'm showing here on YouTube because it's okay. This is me saying, I want you to see me for who I am, as I am, so that those who care, those who are going to be inspired by it, can be drawn to the content I create. And as such, build an actual community of people who are inspired and, on the same journey together. So if you're going to be an authentic creator who actually wants to attract the right audience, then you have to ensure that you're showing every part of it, the messy parts, the great parts, the not so great parts. Now, the fourth value that I would like to emphasize is that in order to be authentic, you have to have a set of values that govern your life, and don't hide that from the world. I mean, just last week we had a prominent figure who was shot and killed because of his values. Now, whether you agree with those values or not, that's a secondary conversation. What's really important is that he stood for something. And if in the 31 years of his life, he's been able to gather and amass such an audience that the world noticed that he died and how he died, it's saying something about authenticity. It was because he's been authentic to his voice. He's been true to his core set of values through the years, and people have either liked him or not liked him for it. And for you as well, if you're going to impact the world and actually leave a lasting impact on the world, you have to be authentic to your core values. Don't be that person who is neither here nor there. What do you believe in? Stand by it. I'm a Christian. I try not to hide that. That is who I am. I believe in Jesus. Jesus saved me. And that has been the central point of my life. I've always been a guy who grew up in the church, who came to know the Lord, and that foundation has helped me and shaped me in building businesses and succeeding as a public speaker and in communications, because I grew up in the church, and that's it. So I don't have to hide that. For you, if you're going to get the world interested in what you are, then you have to be authentic. You have to be willing to show those values without apology. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. That's it. The fifth and final point that I'll leave with you is the need to be consistent. And I honestly think that if you've done 1 through 4, number 5 is easy because it's just you. If you've been authentic, then you don't have to fake consistency. You're just going to show up the same way every single time as who you are, without having to put on makeup or put on airs. I'm not saying don't use makeup. Of course, freaking use makeup if you need to. But I'm just saying you will be able to show up consistently as yourself if you've not been, faking it all along. And then even to little things like, when do I want to post? When am I saying I'm going to show up? Try and do that at that time. I had a TV show and a radio show, and my radio show, for instance, used to hold every Thursday at 9 a.m. It was a live show, 9 to 10, every single Thursday. There's no world in which I wasn't showing up. At 9 a.m., I have to be in that studio when the clock hits 9 and we have to go live. That's what commitment is. And everybody who loves the show tuned in, and they knew my voice was going to come over that airwaves at that time. That's what it means to be consistent. So even on YouTube or on any other platform where you are creating content, you've got to show up. If you say you're going to do something, try and do it. If you say you're going to show up, show up. That is what you want to do. That's what you want to be known for. And if we are able to do that, and I'm working on that as well, if I'm able to do that consistently, then the audience who knows me, who loves me, begins to appreciate that about me, that he shows up when he says he'll show up, and he delivers. And there you have it, the 5 tips that I recommend for how to show up consistently as your authentic self as a creator. And this also crosses over into business, by the way, which is one of the central pillars of this channel, which is, inspiring people to create wealth, by diversifying their income through content, through building businesses and things like that. If you buy McDonald's, you want the McDonald's to taste the same whether in the UK or in the US. That is the power of consistency. It's the same thing with Coca-Cola. If I buy a bottle of Coke in Nigeria or in the UK or in Dubai, I want it to taste the same. And that's the power of consistency and the brand. That is why people come to it, the authentic taste, of that product. And so for you as well, if people are going to know your brand and associate it with anything, with excellence, you've got to be consistent. Don't show up great one day and show up as a mess the next day. Be you, be who you are every single time. Speak the same way, keep the same energy, show up. And on that note, I will be ending today's vlog. I hope you found massive value in it. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I still want to hear in the comments which you prefer, me with my low cut or me with my full hair. Let me know what you prefer. And if you're new here, I'll say it again, please don't just watch and enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe, leave your comments there. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time. Have a good one.